Are we live? We're live. Hi, guys. Thank you so much for joining this evening. Today, we are going to be celebrating the announcement the news that the rumored news that Vue have put in an offer for Cineworld. That has had a positive impact on the share price, which made it go up to, at the highest point today, 6p, and end the day at close at 5p, which for a lot of us was a nice thing to see. However, you know what? First of all, I'm going to start off with a little Penderin. Yes, just a small glass for me today. And then we're going to be getting into my thoughts on this announcement. This news article from Sky News is the source. And then I'll be getting into just a little bit about that. Maybe if we have time, watching the new Flash trailer, which I really enjoyed. So feel free to stay tuned for that. And I hope you enjoy this very short little stream where I talk about Vue potentially purchasing Cineworld. What would that mean for us? What are my thoughts on it? Okay, one little sip. Okay, that's the good stuff. Right. So I think for me, what's really interesting about this news today is, at least how I feel about it. A lot of people seem to be getting very excited, but really it doesn't seem like it's enormous news to me. The really surprising thing was its impact on the share price, and even more exciting than that to me was the amount of volume activity on the stock market. So the fact that there was, 100 million, 118 million or something by the end of the day, that is how much. I'm just going to check that my mic is working. Yep, looks like everything's working. So that's the thing that was really interesting, that there was so much volume on being traded. So that to me tells that there's a lot of, I think there was more volume on the stock traded than there was the market capitalization. So there's clearly a lot of big players interested in this stock. I'm hoping that the stream is coming out well for you guys. It seems to be a bit glitchy on my computer. On the share price and so that's the thing that is really interesting to me, is the fact that this tiny piece of information. So also the fact that we don't have confirmation in the form of an RNS, or we don't have confirmation from Vue directly that they are interested. The leak seems to have come from the financial institutions that Vue went to in order to finance the purchase of Cineworld. Perhaps Vue didn't sign an NDA with these financial institutions, and that is why we are hearing about Vue's potential acquisition. It's potentially very likely that Vue did not want this information to be announced, and they went to the wrong financial institution, and that institution managed to catch wind of the fact that it's happening and sold the information to Sky News. Who knows? But the fact is that the idea, some people are speculating that this is like some sort of a leak for some sort of intended purpose. I don't think that anyone could have known that the consequences of this leak would have meant that the share price would move up this significantly. But potentially, the only thing that would contradict that is the fact that there was such a large amount of volume traded as a result of this small piece of information. It does indicate that there are now two potential buyers. One is the creditors, and two is Vue. These are two known buyers. And what it does for me, what excites me about it, because to be honest, really, as an investor, you should always be excited by the prospect of your share price going down, so long as it doesn't affect the validity of the business, because then you get to buy more of the company's earnings for a cheaper price. The thing that is exciting about news is when it says that your business is essentially the shares that you're currently holding are better than you thought they were, or what you knew them to be yesterday. Like, good news coming out about it means that you are going to have more potential earnings in the future. So I do enjoy, aside from that, it is just enjoyable to see the things that you bought go up in price. I can't deny that. So when I'm just seeing some questions coming on the computer, I'm going to be answering questions as this goes along. So when it's traded in USA on OTC, how's that work for us? I don't know. To be honest, I see you should see, I think, USA OTC as a bit like after hours trading. Like when stocks stop being publicly traded on the stock market, they don't actually stop being traded. They just stop becoming available to you and me. People still trade them, and then the next day they just go to reflect the leftover bid and ask prices left on the exchange. And so the USA version of this stock that I don't possess any of, the UK version will probably reflect the price changes in that one, just like with after hours trading. What will happen if Vue buys Cineworld? If Vue buys Cineworld, it all depends. That's another thing of like, this why this information just indicates that people are interested in the stock, but actually it just means that people are interested. It means that the potential floor for this stock, so like the biggest risk while in Chapter 11 bankruptcy is no one would bid on it, and that, you know, and then we see this sort of list of like this, oh, there's 30 interested parties. Now we know what one of those parties is, and so it depends on the price that they pay for it. So we need them to pay, I believe, 5.5 billion in order to break even. And then if they pay over 5.5 billion, then we start getting money for our shares. And so it needs to be 5.55, I think 5.505 billion, and we would actually get our money back if you bought at 5p. And so if it gets sold for something like 7 billion, which is very feasible, the crazy prices that companies seem to pay for acquisitions these days, it is very feasible. And I think what's even more interesting is that I think would actually be a good investment. Like if you paid 7 billion for all of Cineworld, that would mean that us, the shareholders with 50 that bought, or if you bought at 5p, that won't be a lot of you, then the purchase of 7 billion would mean 1.5 million going towards pre-existing shareholders. And that would mean that, so the 50 million market cap you have, you can divide 1.5 billion by 50 million. And then you get the ratio that would come out at 5p. You can do your own maths to figure out what it is, but basically you'd be buying the current company for 1.5 billion and it's currently valued at 50 million. Would it push share price up? Yes, so if Vue puts in an offer, one of the good things is it pushes up everyone else's prices to outbid Vue. So the fact that offers are being made, if Vue bought it, it depends if they bought it for over 5.5 billion. We have an official document now. We know that the amount of debt that they have after debtor in possession financing is 5.5 billion. That's the net finance debt. They have other debt, which is basically capital lease debt, which doesn't affect the debt to equity ratio. And so, yes, a purchase would push up share prices if it's the right amount of money. Right. I think that's all I wanted to talk about today. I think I'll watch the Flash trailer on the next live stream. I just wanted to get my thoughts out there today and say congratulations, especially to those of you guys that bought at like 2p. I see most of you are continuing to hold, and so will enjoy having you with me on this journey. For those of you that bought higher, I hope this is helping you breathe a little bit. I know that it can be very stressful. And so, yeah, I am still holding, obviously, and I'm excited to see where the stock goes in the future. I love Cineworld. I love this business. And so, yeah, all right. It's still very risky. This is not financial advice. And thank you very much for joining, guys. I don't see any more questions. So, yeah, feel free to leave questions on the video or join the Discord. Oh, yeah, I was going to announce this on next week's live stream, but we are now